Let's check them out. When's the last time you used this word? Toiper. It's a noun. But what does it mean? Torpor explains the sluggishness that one may feel from inactivity. You're just sitting around, not really doing anything. You may be like, well, man, I'm so sluggish. Torpor is the term. Let's use it in a sentence. During rainy days, especially when you were a kid, could often be filled with torpor. You're trying to find different things to do. You're looking at magazines, you're playing video games, just trying to find something that has some activity in it. You ever in a situation where you're feeling inactive and you're wondering, like, what is that sluggishness? Torpor would be the word that you would use. I'm just trying to expand your vocabulary. When's the last time you used the Kakistocracy? It's a noun. But what does it mean? Kakistocracy basically describes a government ran by people so inept, so idiotic, so underqualified that it's almost as if nobody's running it at all. I'm a little heated today because, as a vet, an Army vet specifically, I'm very concerned about my Navy brethren out there in the USS Abraham. If you've seen any of the stories, basically they're starving, they are of low morale, and some of them have even tried to self harm. I really hate what this administration is doing, especially when it comes to our soldiers or servicemen in general, but this is just unacceptable. Here's hoping that the midterms can actually create some real change. In the meantime, I'll be glad when they're gone. I'm just trying to expand your vocabulary. When's the last time you used this word? Precocious. It's an adjective, but what does it mean? Precocious explains a young person, specifically a child, who's typically mature for their age. And what I mean by maturity, not so much physically, but more mentally. You may run into a 4-year-old that actually can hold a conversation with you, or a 10-year-old that just seem to be beyond their years. Let's use it in a sentence. When speaking to young people, especially at my current age, I love to see the precociousness within them. It lets me know that possibly the world may be okay. The next time you're around somebody young and they seem to just be beyond their years, precocious is the word you would use. I'm just trying to expand your vocabulary. When's the last time you used this word? Pedagogical is an adjective, but what does it mean? Pedagogical, though kind of difficult to say, is a very simple term, basically relating to education or teaching. I often realize when I'm choosing words sometimes that like there are multiple words with multiple meanings that all kind of are the same. But I guess it all kind of comes into expanding your vocabulary, which is, my saying. Let's use it in a sentence. I want to take this time to shout out to all the teachers and educators as school starts. You need more love and you need more pay. And I wish our governments, especially where I am, were more concerned with pedagogical needs. So if you're in an educational setting and you're thinking of a word to utilize for that, pedagogical would be the word you would use. Just trying to expand your vocabulary. When's the last time you used this word? Draconian. It's an adjective, but what does it mean? I got this word from one of my followers. G's Up is the person's name. They sent it to me in a DM, and I saw it, and I have always wondered what it meant. So we're gonna learn today. So draconian technically comes from Draco. Draco was an Athenian, 7th century Athenian lawmaker. So basically, like an ancient Greek lawmaker. It is said that a lot of his laws that he created were very severe, typically ending in like death or, extreme punishment, various things of that nature. Let's use it in a sentence. I'm not sure if you've been following the reflecting pool controversy, in Washington with a guy who supposedly swam and cut 300 and some odd feet, on the surface, causing the pool to change colors and just cause a lot of havoc in that regard. Even though most common sense individuals know this probably didn't happen and it was more than likely a shoddy job done by the Trump administration, given the job to maybe just some guy that probably didn't really know what he was doing. I'm not saying he's not a professional, but he may have had a challenge, and instead of, trying to come to grips with it, Trump is trying to place the blame on someone else. And I just learned recently that when Jeanine Pirro, I think she's the AG. No, she's not the AG. She's the district attorney. When she was asked to by a judge to drop the charges, Trump basically said, "I think you need to look more into that because I don't care what the judge says. This guy did it." And let's just be honest. That's very draconian because think about it. You're trying to, and I understand vandalism is a crime, but they're trying to give this guy like 10 years in prison for vandalizing the pool. 10 years in prison? I can understand maybe some community service or something like that, but let's just be truly honest. The guy didn't do it. And it's so disheartening. Instead of you're trying to save face by basically forcing something on somebody that had nothing to do with it at all, and everybody who has a brain understands that. But instead, you're trying to save face by placing the blame on someone else that had nothing to do with this at all. That's very draconian, if you really think about it, and cruel even. I'm sorry for that man, and I hope he gets a great lawyer he can get out of the situation he's in. So the next time you're in a situation where something you feel like is being punished in a way that probably doesn't warrant it, draconian would be the word that you would use. I'm just trying to expand your vocabulary.